and welcome to the Soundtrack of Our Lives podcast. Today we are joined by Katerina Nicole.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, we're going to start with the hardest question of all. Who are you and what have you been up to lately?
Well, I'm a new metal artist in the scene, and I have been up to making my first EP called Serene In Violent Oceans.
How exciting!
It's so exciting for me. I feel like I've really let myself go into this process and dive deep, and I think I really got everything out of this EP that I was looking for, and I feel so fulfilled.
That's awesome. So you've already put out 3 songs from the EP, correct?
That's right. Yep. And I have another one coming out on Wednesday.
Oh, so exciting.
Yes, that one's called Emotionally. It's more of a ballad.
hmm
And then on February 21st, the whole EP is out with the last track, House of Cards.
So why did you decide to put them out in this order?
For the order for releasing them, it kind of was between me and my team debating on what would catch people.
hmm
Uh, we also decided to do a music video for What I Know Now. So that was kind of a great track to announce me, if you will,
hmm
um, field. So yeah.
The music video is so cool.
It's amazing. I worked with Black Wolf Imaging out of New York and
hmm
Tom Finn. He directed it. Um, it was a great experience. I'm from Kelowna, BC, Canada, so I flew all the way across country. That experience.
Was it worth it?
Oh, completely. I just got back a few days ago for the second video. So, yeah, I couldn't wait to get back and do it again.
So what was it like filming the music video?
Everything I dreamed of. It was actually a dream come true. And there was a little bit of acting. You know, there's such a big team and production and the creativity behind it and the hard work. So I admire anybody that's in film because you have to have a lot of skills.
hmm What surprised you the most?
How much work? Even me, stepping on the set, I was sitting in that chair for almost 3 hours, and it got cold because those studios, they don't
hmm
have good heating. So I was getting very cold, and I'm looking over, across the set, and there's, the team like eating and drinking over there, and I couldn't move. We had to do it over and over and over again. So yeah, I praise anybody that can do that for a while. And I really did embrace it because it was something that I really wanted to do.
hmm So going into, I don't know if you have plans for do another one, but what, kind of things would you take from these 2 that you've already done?
I think that I would take being present and in the moment and still focusing on what this song is about, or, you know, the emotions that I feel, because you can really get wrapped up in the hype of the moment of being
hmm
on set and trying to please everybody that's asking you to do certain things. And so, I really had to hold it down and keep those emotions true to what the song is.
Do you have any tips or tricks for somebody who's going into their first music video?
Have fun, have so much fun, and try not to sweat the small stuff because, there's always going to be things that come up that you might not expect. And I've had to learn a lot of patience in the process,
hmm
um, and some more appreciation that I didn't know I needed to have before. So I think I grew a lot doing it.
That's awesome. I feel like it's really hard to forget that you shouldn't sweat the small things, like just in life in general.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't have to be something as grand as making a music video. It's so awesome. But yeah, you got to remind yourself that everybody's doing the best that they can.
Yeah. It's hard to remember that though, at times.
Yeah, I can be a little bit impatient, and that's definitely something that I've had to work on. And now that my team is growing, as an indie artist, I'm used to doing everything myself, and now I've got such a great team behind me that I can lean on and ask for advice, and I know they're going to be there because they believe in this project and they're working on my behalf.
hmm What was it like putting together your team?
In the beginning, I didn't really know where to start, but I think once I had my producer, Jordan Chase, um, I learned along the way that it's okay to ask for recommendations. And I've really hired from friends of friends or
Hmm.
acquaintances, or I try to keep that my circle
Yeah,
as best as I can. And so far, it's working out really great. Everybody's been so amazing. They all bring so much to the table.
that's awesome. I like that you were able to kind of build it from acquaintances of acquaintances. I feel like that's interesting. That's really cool.
Yeah, and it's not easy to do, but I went from starting in a small city to going all the way across the nation. So that's pretty crazy in a matter of, 8 months to do.
Yeah. What does it kind of feel like now looking back on where you started?
It gets emotional because of why I started this EP in the first place was to really let go of some things that I've been holding on to and to see myself grow and grow through it and see it come to life. And I really tried to put some positive notes into my songs, even though they can be really dark at times. I
Hmm.
try to leave it at like, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And if you believe that you can have better or you can think better or feel better, you really can.
Yeah. It's hard to remember sometimes, though.
Absolutely it is.
So, were these songs able to help you move through what you were going through?
Yeah, I can look at a lot of these things that I've been through now as like a stepping stone of ultimately what's led me here, and how beautiful is that?
That's really cool. That you've kind of made this soundtrack to what you've gone through.
Yeah, artists can make music for a million different reasons,
Hmm.
and this EP just happens to be the most vulnerable I've ever been.
What is it like putting all of that vulnerability out for the world to hear?
I believe that if you learn to accept yourself for your mistakes, who you are, and all of that kind of stuff, and you're okay with yourself at the end of the day, that you can let it out. And I'm just okay with it. I really am. I'm proud of the work that I did and the art that I made. And if one person can resonate with that or pick something up and maybe change their mind about something or let themselves forgive themselves or whatever it may be, that would be amazing.
That's awesome. That's really beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, speaking of people, taking what things away from music, what have people thought of it so far?
I'm surprised and happy with how great the feedback has been. I know that rock and metal in general tends to have a lot of rage, and I think that is so great because how else are we supposed to, release some of that stuff?
Hmm.
Might not go away with, meditating and yoga and all those other really peaceful things. So, yeah, I'm really happy that people have enjoyed it the way that they have, and I'm really excited to perform it live and to see what happens in the audience and what
Hmm.
they.
Going into a live performance, how do you prepare?
This will be my first live performance at the end of the month,
Yeah.
February 22nd. So, and it will also be my most vulnerable because it's going to be in front of my friends and family and people that know who I am and things that I've been through. I don't know if they'll pick up on some of that stuff or not. I'm sure they will, but I feel like I'm going to allow myself to feel what I want to feel.
Hmm.
And if I cry on stage or I get emotional or I am a little bit more ragey, I'm gonna let it happen. And I feel like the performances following that will be much easier.
Hmm. Are you excited?
I'm
Nervous or?
so excited. I have the best band. They've been preparing with me for a few months now, and they love the project, so that means everything to me. They're very busy guys, so if they weren't interested, they wouldn't do it.
Hmm. I'm glad you were able to find them then.
Absolutely. One of the bass player is my producer. and and the guitarist is also an engineer at the studio, and the drummer was my studio drummer for the EP. So I'm very lucky.
Wow, so you're kind of keeping it all in the family.
Yeah, I definitely am. Makes me happy to do that.
That's fun. I like that for you.
Me too. And it's in the same city as our studio, so it's literally 2 blocks away at the venue. So it's
Easy
great.
commute.
It really is. Yeah,
Yeah, so you said you're performing in front of your friends and family.
I am. Yes. And everybody has gotten their tickets. They're supporting me. And I know they're up for a fun night too, so it'll be great.
Yeah, that's good for, I feel like that's a really good first crowd.
Yeah, you know it's going to be a good crowd.
Right.
Already know that, I've had experiences with, easy crowds and harder crowds. So yeah, knowing this, that my first one for this EP will will be good.
Yeah. They're definitely going to be into it.
I hope so. They better not boo me.
Yeah. It's definitely easier than a crowd that you don't know going into like the EP, especially
Yeah,
with all the emotions.
absolutely. I want to be able to be honest with myself in that moment and give the songs the justice that they deserve.
Yeah. What have your friends and family thought of it?
They love it. They say all the time they want to hear it on Octane, they want to hear it on Liquid Metal, and that makes me really happy. So,
That's awesome. I'm glad they enjoy it.
me too.
Yeah, I also enjoy it. I thought it was really good. What's that so
Oh,
far?
thank you. Oh, I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I was like, I can't stop listening. It's so good.
Which track do you like?
Oh, I don't know if I could pick one that I like more.
I know it's easy to say what I know now because of the music video that goes with it. It's pretty
Yeah.
awesome. I also really like Sparkling. And I feel like Catch My Breath hasn't had as much attention because it was the first release.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping to circle back with that one and, follow up with some good content in the
Yeah.
near future.
Do you have a favorite on the EP?
Emotionally would be my choice just because there's lyrics in there like inhale and exhale and um talking about being serene in violent oceans. That's where I got the name of the
Hmm.
EP. And I believe that you really can be serene no matter how turbulent or what you're going through or what's going on around you.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very good skill to have.
And again, not an easy one to have.
I mean, all the good skills are really hard.
Yes, touche.
It's like it would be so nice if it was easy.
It would. And I would love to see more people follow some sort of art that they think they might enjoy. Even if they would suck at it for a while. Like I wasn't great at creating music for a while. I've always been a good singer, I'll say, since I was a little girl, but making music is still a skill that I'm trying to learn how to create melodies and writing songs. And there's nothing wrong with not being a plus in that. You have your
Hmm.
team and I, I want everybody to be able to create and to fall into something that they can just be 100% themselves in.
Yeah. Do you make art outside of music?
I like to bake, I like to cook. But other than that, music is my thing. Yeah,
Well, I'm glad you have music.
me too. Absolutely. It's gotten me through a lot of times and it's just enjoyable.
Yeah, that's the thing I love most about music, how universal it is.
And even with rock and metal not being so mainstream, I just watched the Grammys and I really would love to be able to see it evolve more,
Hmm.
eyes of more people, because there is a great outlet for having some sort of high energy music. So, yeah, that would be really great.
Yeah. I also wish they aired more of the awards that were given out.
Yeah, it was all in the preliminary ceremony in a different building.
Right. Like I
Yeah.
want to see these people and I want to hear what they have to say. I want to see it, you know?
Yeah, it's the only way for them to, have that exposure that they really deserve. Even with Courtney being accidentally named Poppy, she handled it well,
Hmm.
but it shouldn't happen. It really
Yeah.
should.
I think it would be interesting if they could still do like the traditional Grammys, but then maybe they could do like a side thing where it just airs the whole thing and just the awards.
Absolutely. Even the Take the Brit Awards, they have like a good concert where people are standing up, they're in the front, or the MTV Music Awards.
Hmm.
You know, I understand what they're trying to do with the Grammys for so long, but if Grammys is the biggest night in music, all genres should be welcomed the same.
Right. And it just kind of shows that there's preference over certain genres.
Yeah, it's not fair.
It's really not. And it's very interesting that it still is not fair.
Yeah. And nobody should have to dim their light or their talent or become softer to be able to be seen or have the opportunity to become mainstream. And it was never my full intention to become a pop artist. You know, I
Hmm.
feel like I have heavier lyrics and vocals to give, but I have that in the back of my mind. Like, what if I were to do something softer and
Yeah.
I have that opportunity to have more exposure just to get up and accept an award and say, "Hey, I'm actually doing this for all of the heavy artists that deserve, you know, a nomination."
Hmm.
That shouldn't have to happen, but I've got that in my mind. I'm like, I have a purpose.
So, do you have more plans for more music?
Yeah, we're already working on EP2 right now.
Ooh, can you give any hints about it?
No.
Okay. I understand. I get it.
I was pretty open with the process of Serene and Violent Oceans, so this time I think I want to keep it inward a little bit longer.
I get that. Keep a little bit of for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's interesting nowadays with like content. Everyone's just putting so much of themselves out there. They forget to keep some for themselves.
Yeah. And in the beginning, I was, you know, asking everybody, like, hey, what do you think of this? Do you like this? Do you think this would be popular? You know, do you think this suits me? You know, all
Hmm.
of those kinds of questions. And there's no doubt in my mind now after doing this album that this is where I belong. This is where I want to be. And this music suits me for sure. So
Hmm.
going into EP2, I can be more assertive.
I love that. That's super. So, what are you taking aside from being more assertive from the creation of your first EP into now your second one?
Gaining my power back. I feel like I had a lot of vulnerabilities in the first album. So going into this one, it's more like, hey, I've gotten past some of that stuff and here I am and here's a better version of me. And, you know, I have a lot more things to say, but maybe with a different energy, you know.
Ooh, that sounds very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited. I know you probably don't have, I'm excited for in the future when it comes out.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm very eager. And like I said, my patience is very low. So I'm gonna want to release it, you know, as soon as I can.
Yeah, I bet it's really hard to sit on stuff like this that you know is just so good.
Yeah, and I have a lot that I want to get out. So when I see artists that can sit on something for so long, I don't know how they do it. No idea.
I just want to share it with the world.
I really do. Yeah.
And I think it is interesting sometimes when they hold off, like I'm like, why? Because
Yeah. You don't need to think about if it's good enough or, you know, how many million times you can remix or edit something or change one synth or I don't know. I believe it needs to just be put out there.
you can drive yourself crazy thinking about, oh, but I could change this or change that, like in order to make it quote unquote like perfect, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like I'm not 1,000% happy with my little baby screams and catch my breath and what I know now, but I've already seen myself come such a long way in my training, and that's going to be going into EP2. So I could beat myself up and say, "Oh, I could have waited," you know, and then
Hmm.
put better screams on that first album. But hey, that's a beautiful thing to for my fans to grow with me, you know.
Yeah. And it feels like, I'm sure it feels like that is part of that first EP, is those baby screams. They've become part of that music.
Absolutely. Because again, I was vulnerable. I wasn't yeah. Yeah, it was right at the time.
Hmm. I think that's something that's so hard is like, I'm sure many artists, including yourself, like looking back even on the songs that you made for this EP, you're like, oh, but I could do so much better now. But it's easy to forget that what you made then was right for what you made then.
Absolutely. And you know, I do maybe 2 or 3 vocal sessions when I record. We do like scratch vocals.
Hmm.
Then I go back in and I do main vocals you know, over top of that, or I try and do better. And half the time we keep those scratch vocals because I'm not thinking too hard about it. I'm just memorizing those notes and going for it.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that's a good thing,
Yeah, I
whatever
like that.
at the time. You just let them out, and most of the time we're keeping scratch vocals. And I think that's pretty cool. We're not, comping a million times. We're not doing, 50 takes and beating ourselves up about it.
Hmm. Because sometimes the imperfections are what make it perfect.
I've had to really learn that, over the years with going through what I have been through and stuff like that. There is really beauty in imperfection.
Yeah. It's hard to see at times. Very hard, but it is there. Yes, what's that I think it's the Chinese art, the blue pots with like the gold on them that they've like shattered and they like remake it and they use like gold to fill in the cracks.
Oh, yeah, I don't know the name for that, but I've seen that.
Yeah, it's like that. The
Yeah.
imperfections are the beauty.
I don't know if everybody's broken, but everybody I know in my life is broken a little bit where we piece ourselves back together and we can do it time and time again, and that's okay.
Yeah. It is hard, but it's important.
Yeah. It's really tough for me when I see other people struggling, and everybody's at a different place in their life, but I try my best to be supportive for those that I love that are in my life. And, I want to see everybody feel better about themselves, because
Yeah.
it's just easy to stay in that cycle of I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy to do what I want to do in my life. And I was stuck in that for a long time. I really didn't think I
Hmm.
was to pursue music or that I had important things to say.
Yeah, it's hard to remember that there is an end to that point where you are at, you know?
Yeah, you almost gotta just kind of gotta forget about gotta forget about that whole part of it. Is it good enough? It's just art.
Hmm.
It's your art. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's definitely easier said than done.
Yeah.
Yeah, so before I ask the last question, was there anything else that you want to mention or talk about?
I am a free bird right now, which means that I all I want to do is perform when this EP comes out. So I am looking for maybe a booking agent, a manager, some more team members to help me grow. So I'm not doing this so much solo dolo. But yeah, all I want to do is perform. So I'm looking for some band members as well that are willing to travel around and do some fun stuff.
Ooh, that does sound fun. I wish I could play an instrument, but
Love to have you. Yeah.
I tried. I tried. So we have a piano downstairs. It was my grandparents, and then we got it. I That was the first instrument I ever learned to play, but I quit that in middle school because I didn't like my teacher. Then I tried the drums. That didn't work for me because I don't really have a sense of rhythm. I also tried the flute, but I didn't like to practice. So,
You know what? I'm with you on two out of those three things as well, because if you don't have a good instructor, it's really hard to keep
mhm,
going. Very opinionated, and you might not agree with their style, things like that. I picked up electric guitar and I dropped it because I thought I had better things to do, and now I really want to pick it back up again because it will help me in the long run with melodies and stuff.
mhm.
So, yeah, but it is what it
Yeah.
is when we're teenagers.
Yeah, I did not want to practice.
Yeah, just like studying. I never wanted to study. I always was winging it.
Right. And I knew I wasn't good, so there was also that, you know?
Right. Yeah,
I knew
that's
I wasn't going to become a musician.
right. Are you happy with what you're doing now?
I do. I love talking to people about music. It's being able to be in the music industry without playing an instrument.
Somebody asked me the other day, like, do you have an endpoint of if things don't reach the height or the place, or if you do, what's next for you? And I was like, well, I just want to stay in the music industry. I love to talk to people too. I think I would be good at a few different things, within the
Yeah.
industry. So that's something to keep in mind, because you don't have to just be the person on stage performing.
Yeah, and I think it's so interesting nowadays, more so than in the past. You can really change up your career at any point. So if something's not working out, you just try something else.
Absolutely. I'm with you on that.
It's like, I don't understand the point of being stuck in one job. I feel like it's fun to try new things. Unless, of course, you love your job and it's perfect for you. But I don't know if
Yeah.
I'd find that.
I know I'm somebody that will pick up a million things, and I'll have no problem dropping half of them if I'm not into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to dabble.
Yeah, I think that's fun because you learn new things, meet new people.
Yeah, and you'll find with my musical career, because I did classic rock covers for a while, then I jumped to deep house, and here I am now. I have no shame in, hey, I tried DJing. I didn't love it. I loved making the music, but I
Hmm.
didn't love performing as a DJ. And that's okay. You try things. And if I hadn't tried that, I don't know if I would be here right now.
Yeah, and you don't know that you don't know that you didn't like to be a DJ until you tried it.
Exactly. Exactly. There's nothing wrong with trying it.
Yeah. So the last question is, what is the soundtrack of your life?
Ooh, that's a beautiful question. Mm, I want to say hope, but that might be cheesy.
But it's your soundtrack. So it's whatever you want.
Gosh, because I'm so melancholy, but there's always a little glimmer of light. So I don't know what to call that. um, oh man, I could be pondering this for a while. I should have known you were going to ask me this. Serene. Let's go with that.
I like it. Yeah. So for all of our listeners who want to stay updated on you, hear the EP when it comes out, where can they find you?
You can find me on my website, KaterinaNicoleMusic.com. I have my CDs and vinyl on pre-order now until February 21, and then my EP will be out. Um, I may be available in some stores in Canada, and I have lots of great merch. And you can find me on Spotify, Apple Music, Instagram, YouTube.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today.
Thank you. I really appreciate you and your questions and having me here today.
Of course. Have a nice rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.